All right. First of all, let me introduce you to my model, Yona. She's my good friend and model. And she's got such a beautiful bone structure. And I'm going to work with something quite geometric today. As you can see, it's been pre-cut already. I worked with this very tight and beautiful flat graduation. Yeah. And what I've did, I've layered the top into two different panels. So we've got a square shape on the left-hand side, okay? And then on the right-hand side, I've worked with something quite round, working with pivoting sections. Now, the reason why I've done that, I've prepared my internal shape to be cut on, an outline, which I'm going to do now for you, right? So let's get started. What I'm going to do first of all, as you see, I've left those two disconnections here. What I want to create is something very, very clean and very sharp that it just sits on the cheekbones, okay? Now, I'm going to take a horizontal sections. I'm not using any clips because I've blow dried the hair and the clips is just going to give me little marks at the moment, okay? I'm going to use the largest tooth of my comb, placing the comb very, very, very softly on the scalp, and I'm going to cut using a chipping action technique. So very nice and sharp. Can you see the angle of my line? It's just mirroring the cheekbones, okay? So the placement of the line is extremely important to enhance features of the face shape. Now I'm going to take one more section. And again, going to cut onto that. Now, this is very pretty, even though she hasn't seen it yet, so she will like it, hopefully. Right, now, at this stage, you can see I do have a very heavy disconnected area here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to connect my existing graduation onto the outlines, okay? So I'm going to come here, going to turn you on around, so the camera can just show you what I'm doing. I'm going to take a diagonal section through my fingers, going to lift the hair up and angling my fingers away. So in this way I can keep enough weight onto the perimeter, okay? And from here I'm just going to cut just a beautiful length, and it's going to blend in a little more, okay? So again, I'm going to take another diagonal section. So I'm working with a round graduation technique, but I'm just twisting my fingers away to keep enough weight on the outlines. I'm sure you have some questions for me today. Go for it. So SENZI started in March 2017, so it's been a year and a half. We've been lucky enough to spread the education in 17 countries around the world in 1 year and a half. I think SENZI is born with a need that I had and a mission, which is to bring the education in every part of the world, because I always felt that London is a great place for hairdressing, and so many hairdressers come from all over the world to study here, and I always thought, why can't we not just bring the education and make it accessible to everyone? And it's proven to be working, and hairdressers around the world are absolutely loving it, to just take high quality education in your own country, in your own city. It just makes it very accessible. So that's what SENZI started to actually trying to grow the industry. Yeah. Thank you for the question. My background. Well, I started hairdressing when I was 16 years old, and that was back in Italy. And then obviously I was always been passionate about hair cutting and geometric cutting, and that's when I decided to move to London, where I started my career, and I worked with the leading hair education company. I don't like to mention any names, and that's where I started my journey here in London, and then I decided to launch my own company, which today is a very special day, because this company isn't about me, okay? It's all about our team, which they're there, ready to come. So you're gonna see Vlad and the amazing Rebecca Chang. She's going to do some styling for you today, okay? Now, before I carry on, I just want to show what I'm doing here. I'm working with two different lenses, okay? So you can see something quite short and tight on the left-hand side. And then on the right-hand side, I'm just placing my lens below the cheekbones, okay? Now, when I'm going to work on the front, you're going to understand why I'm actually giving this sort of, you know, disconnected areas, okay? Now, once I've done that, I'm going to push the hair slightly forward, as that's how I want the hair to be dressed. And I'm just going to clean with the point of my scissors. Now, once this is done, we're going to do the fun part. I'm going to cut the fringe, okay? Now, I want to place something quite interesting on Yona. I want to have something that is quite strong, going through almost half of the face shape. And then from there, I'm going to divide the fringe into a bio level. So I'm going to have something that's quite short on the other side, but it's quite broken, okay? So I always like to have a very soft element next to something that is quite strong. Yeah, it's kind of, you know, ruin that perfection. I always think perfection isn't very interesting, okay, in everything that we do as SENZI, okay? So I'm going to come here, going to get Yona to face me. Probably I'm going to give you a nice shot there in the camera. Then I'm going to stay in front what I do, so my shoulders and my hips are parallel to what I'm cutting. I'm gonna get Yona to look on the left-hand side, so I can get the camera to see what I'm doing. And from here, I'm going to place a nice curve. Very, very clean. Now, my step number one is to get the balance in, so get the silhouette in. So I'm not bothered if it isn't perfect yet. I want to get a nice silhouette. And after that, I'm going to clean it up, okay? Now I'm going to turn the hair a little more. I can see that now I've pushed the hair back with my blade, and I can see the weight here, okay? So I'm just going to come back technically, lift the hair up, and can you see this? I'm just going to remove it. That's it. And then from here, I'm just going to blend the shape in with the outlines. Now, if I look at the camera, it's probably gonna tell me what's happening. Now, from here, I'm going to work with the point of the blade, just to make it quite sharp. Now, when you work with these outlines, you kind of need to step back. If I go too close, I lose the bigger picture here, okay? Now, I feel that the fringe is dropping down too much, so I sort of want to lift the hair a little bit. Maybe we can load the music, the background music a little bit. Thank you. Hair Tribe. We did an amazing shoot with Hair Tribe. I don't know if you've seen it. We shot this beautiful video step by step in the forest. And it was absolutely mesmerizing. The location was such a strong energy. And if you haven't seen it, go on Hair Tribe. And, you know, it's super, super fascinating. Yeah, I think what I love about Hair Tribe is, and I'm not saying this because I'm here, is the fact that they're sort of revolutionizing how, you know, the online education and the usual step-by-step works. I think is giving more personality to each artist with the location and everything. And that's very beautiful because I think it connects the audience much more with the artist instead of, you know, seeing the usual step-by-step with a white background, yeah, with the suit, okay? Now, from here, I think that I'm going to lift this fringe a little higher. I often get asked a question when I, teach classes or seminars. Everyone asks me, do you always know what you do? Technically, yes. I think once you've got a strong knowledge of, shapes and techniques, and you know the placement of the weight, where you lift in the hair, you know what's happening. But in the end of the day, we're artists, and hair is a fabric. So I'm starting with something now, and I'm kind of molding and changing it while I develop, okay? Now, from here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to press with my hand, so I'm give a lots of tension, and that's because I want to create something that is super soft and is super textured. Going to give some view there and turn Jonas on the left-hand side. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut something that is extremely, extremely broken, very, very edgy. You can see the details there. So I really want to create that mix between the two sides in the fringe, which I think it makes it super, super interesting. Now, once I've done that, I'm going to be a good hairdresser and just blow the hair away from the gown. I'm a bit OCD when I work. My students know. And I like to have things very clean around me, so I can just have a peace of mind when I cut hair. Now, once I've done that, to look even better what I'm doing, I'm going to remove the hair from the forehead. Now, the camera is my mirror now, so I keep looking at the camera to see the silhouette of what I'm doing. Now, from here, I'm just going to clean up the shape. How are you, Perry? Good. That's my pleasure. We have the whole team here today. Apart from Claire. Claire, she's doing some coloring elsewhere, so she couldn't be here today. Okay, now at this stage, what is left for me to do is just to put some hairspray. It's very hot here, it's very humid, so the hair is getting a little frizzy. So I want to secure the hair. Possibly I'm going to use my session brush. Just give me a nice shine in the hair. I think my inspiration comes from time. So anything that is current, society, anything that is happening in the world is happening within us. I always trying to get feelings out when we do collections, and I think something that is makes SENZI, I believe, quite unique in the industry is the fact that we don't just think about hair, we just think about feelings and communications. So our collection isn't about showing off hair, it's a collection is showing off a current time that it's happening, and how people feel with that. Because in the end of the day, if you think about it, this is just an accessory. She's got style, she's got personality, she needs to feel herself, she needs to feel cool, she is cool. But if the hair is just gonna please me, I'll be just showing off what I can do instead of making hair feel good. And that's sort of the spirit of SENZI. Now, once I've done that, I can remove this Blade Runner futuristic thing from the front. Oh, thank you very much. Now, I want to push the hair and get that edge in it and refine a little more. Now, if you see here, all those little hair, what I want to do, I really want to expose. I want to expose the face shape a little more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to frame it. Now, I work a lot with my elbow when I do that. So, as you've seen, I'm working with curves. All my outlines are curved and not straight. Yeah, because the face shape, the features of especially women's are very soft and very rounded. So every time that you work with straight line, it looks very aggressive, okay? Now, to work with curves, my elbow is my best friend, okay? Now I'm going to break this a little more, just to add some drama into it. We love drama. For the future, well, ideally, we would like to have a base in different countries around the world. We have a few countries in mind now, and expanding the team. But we are obsessed with the quality of SENZI. So I don't think about quantity, and I don't think about getting bigger. I think about getting better. So we just take it in a very organic way, and whatever is gonna take us is gonna take us. And I think that's the best attitude to have when you're trying to grow, a very healthy brand. Now I'm going to remove all this little hair from the face. I don't know if I've passed my 20 minutes. I usually run late every time.